Right.
When I was granted top secret clearance, when I was working on Polaris and Apollo inertial guidance system for the Navy at MIT, I volunteered information to the personnel director of MIT Instrumentation Laboratory because I didn't want some information to be found out without having already uh, shared it with the people who were concerned. So that the Navy might have had information because of that I had spent time with Riva Borenstein and her husband, Jack Lossman, who were members of the Communist Party in Paris, regularly went to meetings every one day a week, dressed in red shirts, and I think it was usually the Café Select where they met in Montparnasse, right off the Rue Vavin. I believe it was probably then that I began, that I was then followed on everything I did and after, as I was graduating from Harvard, and afterwards when I worked as a teaching assistant at Harvard, members as a fellow of the College of Arts and Sciences, and when I was a special student at the Divinity School in Cambridge. And then later, and before that, my work teaching in the Free University of the University of Connecticut in Storrs, Connecticut, while I was getting my master's degree at the University of Connecticut, in which I taught books that were undoubtedly radical, no matter what your political sympathies were. One was the writings of Che Guevara. Of course, they were about to have him assassinated in Bolivia, or Ecuador, was it? And then I was involved in not only in the civil rights movement, but in the anti-Vietnam War resistance in an organization called Vietnam Now, which had rallies in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of my associates in that effort was Richard Marius, later became a well-known novelist, and came back to Harvard from the University of Tennessee to become a head of expository writing, where I was teaching writing, expository writing, and creative writing. I started with my wife and two other friends a literary magazine called Canto Review of the Arts. One of my editorial assistants was a young man at Harvard students I met at the Cygnus Society, where I ate lunch often. Named Roger Platt. His father, I learned later, was head of the Fairfield Foundation, which along with Nicholas Nabokov funneled money to various arts projects, um, contemporary music projects, uh, launched art shows in Europe in competition with all the cultural activities of the Soviet Union during the Cold War, such as all the music that came out of Russia, from Shostakovich, Prokofiev, and then later Schnittke and other composers. I met with Roger's father at the Century Club in New York City to discuss starting something called the National Book Review with Peter Spackman, who was at MIT and had a journal, political journal, cultural journal, and actually the National Review was the kind of publication the Fairfield Foundation might have funded, or the Ford Foundation or Rockefeller Foundation, as a front for way of funneling funds. The way the Partisan Review and Encounter magazine had been funded by the company.
Tu as fini le vidéo, papa?
Hi, still there.